I have grave concerns out here in Steglitz area at the St. Matthias Friedhof Church Cemetery. It's a Monday morning. Everybody's out doing their groundskeeping duties. Carl Thiel, 1939. And I'm down here capturing 3 cemeteries. This is the first, and I'm not in pursuit of any individuals, just getting a look at the aesthetic. That's a great statue. Very smoothly carved. I always enjoy seeing reliefs, statues, busts. Here is a fantastic stone. Look at that. 3 ravens. No idea who we have here. Name is totally gone. Those are just beautifully posed. Great variety. That just has a lot going for it. I'm gonna just, no, there's a stone with a lamb on it, behind it, but I think that doesn't belong to this person, whoever this is. Well, I'm gonna capture it anyway, just in case that can be read later. That's fantastic. And then just a simple rest in peace on the bottom. Someone somewhat prominent, Volkman, 2016. There are prominent people here, but I think unless you're German, you wouldn't know. And overall, this has a pretty good look to it as I look down the alleyway here. Look at these beautiful trees in the distance. It's very neatly kept. Not overgrown like some other more important historical cemeteries. This is more of an active, current cemetery. So a lot of visitors, they're keeping it well presented. It's quite the cross, quite the crucifix. Gorgeous day here in early August. Had a lot of rain over the weekend, so it's just one of those days where it's cleared out. Highs in the mid-70s. Can't beat it. Here's a Falk, Gerhard Falk. You know, Peter Falk is from, I want to say, think about this. Is it Budapest? I think it is Budapest. I was going to say Prague. I thought there was a statue of him there, but I'm recalling when I was in Budapest, I was hunting it down. So yeah. He has roots in Eastern Europe, so Falk is a common name. And it is a well-known family. I'm not saying that person's related. Who knows? I think they were newspaper editors in Hungary. I don't know why I was thinking Czech Republic. It's more of a Prague, more for Kafka. Just gonna walk in a bit and get a general look. This will be a brief one. Now, this is pretty far south Berlin. I had to get off at the Südend S-Bahn stop and walk about a kilometer. It's much closer as the crow flies, but the train lines really block walking routes. Johann Baptist Gradl, 1988. Marianne Gradl, 1999. Nice carving. Looks like the Roman soldiers disrobing Christ. Or enrobing, if that's the word. And I've already reached one end of the cemetery here. And I see a column at the end. Maybe a war memorial. Let's walk out to that and then just take a look at the southern end of this place. Now again, for context, you see the apartments nearby. There's a beautiful Via Dolorosa stone. In this case, once again, it's the centurion or the Roman soldier. Looks like he's helping him get up to resume his journey. I'm not sure of the specific story. You have to look into that Via Dolorosa and the various characters who either inhibited or promoted his route. Always good to see current stones or recent stones and some of the different designs that people will take on. Signature once again, Bola. Looks like Siegfried or something, Bola. I don't know, 83. And then Klaus Ulrich Bola, 2011. So it looks like the female's on top, so it's probably not Siegfried. I really can't read that. Fergebeist. Who knows? You know, that's why I'm not crazy. They look nice, but Ingeborg. I'm not crazy about signature stones just because of that inability to read them. I just read a little generic plaque planted there to figure out it was Ingeborg. So they look cool, but pretty tough to read if you've got this kind of scrawl. Let's see what this column is about. Of course, if I see any Grave of Honor stones, I'll stop and check that out. I like this one of Christ here, just sort of giving the wave. Okay, so this is for an individual. This is not a war memorial. Maria Hepner, 1912 to 1978, and Franz Hepner. I don't see a Grave of Honor marker. But they sure got a prominent spot here. This is a little bit on the hill, quite tall. What a beautiful alley here. And I'm trying not to slip down. It's also covered in pine needles. There's a nice little statue. Looks like some Poles, Polish folk. Golem Buski. Jürgen Günther, 21. Quite pleasant. After my long train ride down here and train station coffee. That's the thing about cemetery walks. For me, as a cemetery walker, whether I'm videotaping, it's my 80s phrase for this, whether I'm recording video or not, it's a nice hike for me. It's always pleasant, quiet, green. Not always, but you know, most of the time, compared to the rest of the city, that's for sure. God is the life. Bruno Utoviak. Again, the motif of the soldiers and the Via Dolorosa. So, I'm not sure why that's so significant here. It must be the kind of church that they focus on that theme. Some beautiful crosses here. Large wooden cross. Okay, here it is again. More Via Dolorosa, but this is more, looks like Centurion on the right. Maybe Mary Magdalene on the left. It's a nice modernist looking stone for Hoffman, Paul and Marguerite Hoffman. Paul died back in 68, he was 65. Wow, and Marguerite made it almost to 100, maybe 94. So she had a good 30 years without that guy. Which is strangely common, you know, men dying when they're in their 50s and 60s and women living to near 100. Once again, centurion and shirtless guy assisting Christ in his journey there with the cross down the Via Dolorosa. Here's a beautiful solemn statue up ahead. Get a look at this one. I'm back towards the entrance now in the church, which is not too interesting looking from back here, but on the front it is covered in ivy. Let's see what this is about. (1942) bronze. Doesn't seem to be a war grave or anything, but a war memorial, I should say. This is not for a specific individual. I think I am back at the beginning. So that's going to do it for this place. Down here south of Tempelhof at a cemetery whose name I can't pronounce, E-Y-T-H, Eith Friedhof, something like that. Had to walk around the whole thing to find the entrance, but before I got here, I got a few images of another place I can't pronounce, something like Alboinplatz, and we had that elephant statue, and then this impression, Adolf Herzog, family Herzog. This kind of lake, this sunken lake, and so that's some kind of a, they call like a dead glacier. So during the Ice Age, when the glaciers came down, the piece broke off and just kind of sat there and sunk the landscape and made a little lake. Then we have some war dead on the right, World War II war dead. We don't know who these folks are, of course. Bystanders, perpetrators, collaborators, resistance. We have no idea. In any case, so yeah, that little lake was formed. And I think just the name of the dead glacier is kind of evocative. And that bull statue was pretty unique. It kind of a grid on it. It looks like made out of brick, but I think it's more of a grid on top. And apparently that's also kind of an old World War II era thing. But there's a guy who does cemetery tours in Berlin. I've never met him. I've never gone on his tours, but he does a more thorough investigation of that dead glacier and that elephant statue. Excuse me, not elephant, bull statue. And I should really link to him because he tells some good stories and does some research. And since he's German, he knows a lot more than I do about what I'm seeing down here. I like these blue planters on this one. Fleischhacker Mangold. Nice ceramic blue planters in there. So this is a somewhat extensive place. Took me quite a while to walk around. And as usual, I'm wondering if there's another exit, but I don't think so. I think I'm going to have to walk back to this church entrance, which looked like some kind of a Syrian or Greek Orthodox building. But I don't know. We're behind it now in any case. But these are looking like a lot of recent graves down here. And I'm just wondering where, if there is an historic section, where that is. An older section at least. Get out of that area with concentric circles and just see what's down here. I see another photographer. He looks like a wildlife photographer. He's got quite a big lens. Now he's not filming a grave. Not sure what he's up to. He's looking like wildlife. So far, no big monuments or statues. Just a lot of standard graves. I'm going to pause till I come to a more exciting place. So I don't think there is any particularly historic place here. This is just kind of a regular folks cemetery. But I thought I'd film here again just because the landscaping is really nice. And there's a lake to my right, small lake. Ooh, a heron across the water. Beauty. Little sculpture down here. Let's see if I can. Some ducks. Let's see if I can get down here and at least get a little wildlife. This is steep. I don't want to go tumbling down. Herons are notoriously skittish. He's going to take off. So I get down here, especially if they land on my ass. Alright, I'm chasing all the ducks off here. Let's see the sculpture. Let's see if Mr. Heron takes exception to me. So far not. He knows he's safe on the other side. And he's got a lot of duck companions here. This is a beautiful little pond. This looks like another dead glacier spot, the way that this is sunken in. Nice. No heron action. I have grave concerns in Steglitz, or Steglitz, however they pronounce it here, at the Steglitz Friedhof. Friedhof. I think Friedhof. Those I-E-E-I combos are difficult to figure out. In any case, you can maybe see this is a really green, forested cemetery. Not forested like Südwest Kirchhoff, but it's got a lot of trees. And that makes it really nice. Really nice for hiking. I just kind of came in through the side entrance here. There was some idea that this place closes at noon, which is exactly what time it is. So I'm hoping I don't get locked in here. You can see this beautiful contrast right from here of the dark green in the foreground, and then in the distance the sunlit trees where there's more of an open field area. In fact, I get off at the Priesterweg or Priesterweg stop, S-Bahn, on the S2, and it was about a 10-minute walk from there. Some of these old wall family monuments here, blank. And on the way, there was a really nice public park. So already I can highly recommend this as a hiking destination. One could easily spend 30 minutes to an hour in that park exploring. It's a little bit hilly, which is kind of rare in Berlin. Windhoff. Family Windhoff. Wilhelmina. 1902. And Albert. 18 something. It's broken up. And it looks like I'm coming upon a little chapel here. Let me get out to this main road. So yeah, an hour spent in the park, or a little less. Totally open here, not closed at all. Lots of people coming and going from the front gate. And then a little time here in this cemetery, which is sort of equally naturific. And for me today, it's first week of August, another beautiful, sunny, a little bit warm. Should reach about 80 today, but I would say it's only in the mid to high 70s right now. And as I may have mentioned, I've had it pretty lucky this summer with temperatures, while most of Europe is in 90 plus Fahrenheit, certainly high 80s. I mostly enjoyed temperatures in the 70s, so I really have no reason to complain if I get a couple of days that are in the low 80s. So really well kept. I mean, super clean entrance here. Really healthy looking trees and bushes and flowers. Nice gravel and cobblestone. But so far not looking terribly old either. And nothing so far particularly striking visually. In terms of large monuments or Victorian style Gothic looking architecture or monuments. Well, let's see. I just walked in. Let's give it a chance. But kind of new looking. So Steglitz is just south of what they call like the S-Bahn ring, the main ring of the city. Walking a bit into the sun here. And it feels like it. It feels like you're outside of the city here for sure. Not just because I'm in this kind of green, rustic cemetery, but even the walk here, things are just spaced apart more than in the city or even in the north end where it's just more densely populated. Definitely a nice place to come for a walk or have a little snack on the bench and contemplate. It's really foliage as far as the eye can see. As I stand here and look across, I just have an uninterrupted view of foliage. 360. Foliage close up, foliage far away. Weed whacker. Actually, weed whackers are not as bad as leaf blowers. I had kind of rewatched one that I did in England. I was complaining about weed whackers, and I really meant to say leaf blowers, but the guy was using a weed whacker at the time, and it kind of got me on that track. Weed whackers generally don't bother me as much when I'm at home, not so much if I'm recording a video, but leaf blowers, man. Those things did not exist when I was a kid, and they are loud, and when you get a chorus of them together, they really are menacing, because they'll go on for an hour and just disturb you while these guys blow leaves around. It's really stupid. Anyway, this is kind of an interesting section here, even though it's pretty new. It's got some character to it. The stones are a little irregular. Let's get this central monument here. Let's take a look. Irene Mob 2018. Right, these tall, thin, cylindrical kinds of stones. Nice striation on the colors, different materials. And I do see this kind of hole or split motif a lot in Germany in newer stones. Usually it's a couple, you know, but not always. I mean, I only see one name on there, so who knows. But these are recent graves. These are all, looks like, from the last 5 or 10 years. Could be some COVID deaths in here, I wouldn't be surprised. Really beautifully sculpted, like these little stone walls, little paths and ramps, well tended. And I just wanted to get a look at this monument from the other side, but I'm just seeing this one here for Carl Brigitte from 2018, and he just has a beautiful glow on there from those flowers. That orange stone and the reflection off those golden roses. It's really illuminated looking right now. I mean, that's one of the nice things too, is you got to consider the time of day when you visit cemeteries, because it's different all the time. It's different during different seasons, and that's nice, because just like any park or natural hiking area, you have a different experience at different times of day and different seasons. So it's good. And I live in a place that has 4 seasons, so it's quite stark when you visit places. And it keeps it fresh, you know, it keeps changing the area. You cycle through the seasons and then you're back around again to spring. A little less attended over here. That's all right. I'm going to go this way actually because, although, I'm going to say because I'm a little in the sun too much the other way, but it looks like there might not be a way through, so I don't want to have to go back and forth. But I don't like pointing the camera like into the sun as I walk. Let's see if I can go across here and get a little more in the shade. So, as you would guess, with a cemetery this new, I'm not looking for anybody too prominent. But if I find an older section, like that first area when I walked in along the wall, there might be somebody. I know there's a impressionist painter whose name escapes me, who's in here somewhere. Be nice to find him, but since I don't even know his name, I'm really just looking for older. Recenter here. So I've been all over Berlin, different neighborhoods, not just this summer, but in previous times. And it's nice to have an excuse to come to these areas that are a little more far out. You need a destination out here because it's not really as fun to just walk around. You're just walking through miles of busy roads. It's not like when you're in the city and you've got all this variety, all these shops and restaurants and different, you know, schools, whatever. Out here, it's kind of more of the suburbs, so just like in America, it's hard to find good walking areas unless you're really like in the city or in a densely packed neighborhood. You know, that's all I walk around in the U.S. is that, and of course cemeteries. But for me, you know, it's like I have to go to Boston if I really want to walk for 4 hours in the city. Be hard pressed to do that down in Providence or New Haven or Hartford. Let's check this out here. I'm seeing something against the edge here. Okay, I think this is a water tower. Let's check this out. Again, so you can see how I'm a bit in the sun and get kind of a haze, especially along the top. And here I'm now in the shade and it's a better picture. But that caught me by surprise. I just sort of looked to my right and I saw this pretty large thing. So again, you know, with Berlin being relatively flat, whenever they get a little hill, sometimes put a water tower on it to create water pressure. And there's some really great old ones in more in the center of Berlin. There's one there they call Alboinplatz, and it's a bit more historic looking than this. This looks a little more modern than that one. That one looks turn of the century. I know it's got underground cisterns and you can visit them, but they're only open like a couple times a year, so you really got to get on the list early. Now, this is funky here. This has got quite a design on it now that I'm seeing it up close. I guess you could climb it. Maybe I should. Just to get a look from here, if I can get in the shade a bit. It's going to be a bit of a climb. What are we looking at here? This is like 20 stories here. Well, let's see. Holy cow, it's bigger than I thought. Wow. Check that out. Oof. It's quite an edifice in the middle of a cemetery. I definitely made this trip worthwhile. Otherwise, I was going to say it's not the most exciting cemetery, just a nice hiking area. Let's see. Well lit from this side. Oof. It doesn't look too open. Which is too bad. Nevertheless, I'm going up. Is this apartments? Can't be. Sure is locked. Not a... Too bad. That would have been a cool walk going up there. Maybe on the weekends. I don't know. But just look at that forest out there. Wow. It's surprising in a way. It sort of catches you off guard because it just seems kind of low-key in here. And you don't expect to see just a vast forest. The trees are just really well spaced out, so no matter where you go, you're seeing a large landscape. Well, I think that's going to do it for this place. I'm going to go back out by the main entrance and just see if they have a map with anyone prominent. But if it ends here, you'll know that it was really nothing. I haven't been to the front yet, but I know this is one of the prominent people here, Otto Dienel, 1839 to 1905. Looks like a composer of some kind. Johanna Dienel, 1929. Not a bad looking stone here either. A little bit in the shade. There we go. Get a better look maybe. So there could be a few folks around here. If he's here, then I think any of the other prominent ones would be nearby. There's also this kind of central watering fountain straight ahead. There's a couple of large stones here. And nice relief on there. Figure of sorrow. No name on there. Huh. Mark Graf. Interesting. 1930s. Tough to see. Let me point that down. There you go. No graves of honor yet. Wilhelm Schwarzmann, 1913. There we go. Marie Zupan, Ferdinand Zupan, 1913 and 22 respectively. There's a Mason, Wilhelm Schuland, August Schuland. Who do we have across the way here? Louise Metz, Alfred Metz, 1920s. All right, let me pause again. There's that main chapel I walked towards, just to see relative from the front entrance. I've seen some older stones here, and what looks like it used to be the edge of the cemetery. It's usually where they place these things. Not always. Sometimes they are just dividing walls within a cemetery. Certainly that's what they serve as now. But I just thought I'd come over here and check these out. This is really nice. Julius Zimmermann. Definitely worth looking up. 1902. Let's get his relief up there. That's a tough name to read there. Lewis. Looks like P. Looks Russian almost. I don't know what's going on there. O-T-H-G-E. I can't read that. Ruthka, maybe it's an R. Maybe it's this name here, Bathga. Family Bathga, B-A-T-H-G-E. That's what it must be. That's a B, Bathga. Well, Zimmermann's here. I really like this gold inset. They must have restored that recently, because that just is undiminished in time. Mueller family. This has got quite the script on it. Berlinica. Turn of the century, 1898. Wilhelm Palaman. Carl Schultz, Caroline Schultz, 1915. These seem to be the most historic graves here. Just these family plots on the perimeter. Nice blue-white tile combo here. Family Hesse. Charlotte Hesse, Elizabeth Hesse. think that's going to do it for old family plots. Let's just see what this is here on the corner. Belka, Gertrude Belka, Max Belka, 1924 and 50 respectively.